Trump threw a grenade into the middle of Israel's political class, and now they're going out of their heads.
There's more to this story than I think we want to accept, because he's already getting buy-in from the Arabs in some way. Now, maybe he's strong-arming them. I firmly believe that Trump's misguided or not, and I'm willing to play that game. I'm just saying now, looking at it from his perspective. He wants this solved. He wants a durable peace between Israel and Iran.
Take the first step towards online privacy. Get NordVPN.
A whole other reason for Britons to engage in lawful tax protest, I would say, because it's against the law to fund, facilitate, or in any way terrorism, genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity.
And where should people go to learn more about this completely serious initiative?
bit.ly/makewarhistory. bit.ly/makewarhistory. 1987 Recognition of Trust Act. HMRC and councils and other government agencies are bound by trust law. They cannot ignore trusts.
And can you explain to me, like I'm a 4-year-old, what that means exactly?
What it means, put the money in a trust that you owe for any local government or central government tax or fine or fee. Say to whoever's going to get it, the local authority or the tax authority, you can have this money provided you can demonstrate you're not violating the International Criminal Court Act or the Terrorism Act, and you've got such and such a time to do so. They can't do that. They're not exempt from those provisions, which make it illegal to fund or facilitate or support genocide, war crimes, crimes against humanity, or terrorism. Essentially what the British government is doing in Ukraine, has been doing in Israel, and is doing in Yemen, and Lord knows where else.
So what that means is that the money that you owe in taxes, rather than just paying it to the government, you put it into a trust. And it's a trust that you set up, right?
Very simple.
And then you tell the government, the money that I owe you is in this trust. Can you please provide me any guarantees that it will not be used for any illegal activities under these laws, right?
Yes.
And they can't, right?
The money goes to the next beneficiary, which could be the taxpayer, it could be somebody else, it could be anybody, but it doesn't go to the government. And it's completely...
Can it go back to you?
Yes, it can go back to you. Alex, if you're in Britain, you could use this process. When tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes a duty. So said Thomas Jefferson. Go to bit.ly/lawful tax protest or bit.ly/makewarhistory and find out why it is a criminal offence to pay central government or local government taxes in the UK. bit.ly/lawful tax protest or bit.ly/makewarhistory. And let's make war. This is an extract from a much longer video. If you want to watch the whole thing, go to bit.ly/crypto-rich-odyssey. bit.ly/crypto-rich-odyssey. Link in the description below. In the remaining time that we have left, I want to move on to the Middle East because
Sorry, did you say left or right?
No, I'm far right, and we're all right so far.
Yeah.
But I want to move on to the Middle East. I've been trying to get my head around what is going on. And I know Trump talks a lot of bluster and then pulls back, and people are terrified of his bluster. You know, they lose their shit when he talks bluster. And it works, right?
Every time.
Every fucking time, right? But what is this? Like, and I said, look, the guy's a Zionist. That's it. His policies have been pro-Zionist. The Abraham Accords, moving the embassy to Jerusalem, all that stuff, right? And maybe he's going to do it through peaceful means, not through war. Well, expelling the Palestinians is still ethnic cleansing, getting them to move. And it might be that it's so bad, the conditions are so awful, that somebody comes along and says, look, here's some money, start a new life elsewhere, leave the rubble.
I'm not sure what to think of this at this point. Okay. We've been warned by our mutual friend, Faisal, that Trump was going to come in, look like the Messiah, and then do something else.
Yeah.
And it would track eschatologically. There's more to this story than I think we want to accept, because he's already getting buy-in from the Arabs in some way. Now, maybe he's strong-arming them, but the goal eventually was, I firmly believe that Trump's misguided or not, and I'm willing to play that game. I'm just saying now, looking at it from his perspective. He wants this solved. He wants a durable peace between Israel and Iran. So, like you said, to Iran directly, don't pursue a nuclear weapon. Make a good deal with me over not pursuing a nuclear weapon, and you're going to get everything you want. The problem is, for the Palestinians, is they have had nobody's advocate. Nobody has been their advocate. Everybody's used them as a pawn. The Arabs have used them as a pawn. The Jews have used them as a pawn. The Iranians have used them as a pawn. The Persians have used them as a pawn. The Europeans have. The Brits have. Everybody's used them. And that's the tragedy. And I don't have a good answer for how to solve the tragedy. But I'm going to tell you flat out, I don't think there's going to be justice for the Palestinians in the long run. But that may be what we have to do in order to get this worked out in some way, manner, shape, or form. And this is something we're all going to have to, look in the mirror about. I am not advocating for any of this. I'm just telling you what I think the lay of the land is. Okay, it pains me to talk about it in these terms, but it is what it is. And this is the reality in many ways. The Palestinian authorities that have played a dangerous game as well. And the citizens of Gaza, of course, are the ones paying the price, just like everybody else has paid the price for everybody else's dangerous games. And at some point, the question is, I don't know, who can you or can you not save? I don't know, and I don't have an answer for this. This is one time I will say I don't know. I'm hoping that there's a grinder plan here, but I'm not sure that I know what that is. Alex.
Okay, so I've been, like everybody else, I've been astonished about Trump's statements about Gaza and the fate of the Palestinians, and to me it makes less than zero sense. It's I think it's not inappropriate to call it stupid, and it's also appropriate to call it repugnant. So I think that Trump can't possibly mean what he's saying. The way I interpret it, what he's saying is as chess moves. He's making chess moves, and so I try to think like, okay, so what impact does this have? So of course, everybody's going to get really, really excited and like, oh, you can't do that. How can you possibly own Gaza? Of course, the concept of owning Gaza is it's not even a thing. It's impossible. But here's what it does, and I like his last statement of Truth Social about this that I saw said that we will take over Gaza once the fighting ends. What he was saying is that Israel goes in there and cleans it up, and then when the fighting is over, that is when Israel defeated Hamas and uprooted them from Gaza, then the United States goes in and they're going to build this Trump Riviera and Casino Resort or whatever. And so I thought, okay, so if I were a fanatical Israeli settler who has been gung-ho about killing every last Palestinian, destroying Hamas, turning everything into rubble, and then going there to build settlements like in the West Bank on this land that God promised us, because he did, everybody knows, right? Now what? Donald Trump is claiming the land that God promised to us. Okay, so once you kind of wrap your mind around that, now you're thinking like, so we're going to send IDF there to be killed and maimed and fight and defeat Hamas so that Trump could take over Gaza? Maybe not. Not so excited anymore. This is Netanyahu's putting a brave face on it as though he finagled some kind of a great deal with Trump. This doesn't make any sense at all. And so 2 days ago, he was in the Knesset. He was, doing his fulminating about no more ceasefire and enough, and we're going to go. And it ended up being a massive fighting match. The people shouted him down. He is so Trump threw a grenade into the middle of Israel's political class. And now they're going out of their heads. And let's see the situation in Israel. So they started the war in Gaza in October 2023. It's been going on for like 60 months now. And they never defeated Hamas. If anything, Hamas today is stronger than they were 60 months ago. So what makes you think that you can defeat them now? What, bomb them more? Turn the rubble into smaller rubble? Israeli economy is broken. Israel is becoming a failed state. Hundreds of thousands of Israelis are bailing out. They're getting out of there. They never defeated Hamas. They never defeated Hezbollah. There's still Ansar Allah capable of lobbing missiles and rockets into Israel. They now have HTS on their doorstep, and they don't even know what the hell they got themselves into there. And now the situation with Turkey, which controls the HTS, is so bad that they, oh God, I sound like Trump. It's so bad that they, that Israelis officially upgraded Turkey to their number one enemy. So they're now even a bigger enemy than Iran. And Iran is still there. So I see no light at the end of the tunnel for Israel at all. What peace? Peace with who? And Netanyahu himself is at the precipice of the very end of his political life and possibly his physical life. And nobody in Israel can tell you what happens if Netanyahu falls. But there is a risk that Israel itself falls into a civil war. So, and just in case this sounds very radical, Henry Kissinger himself said in 2012, 10 years from now, there will be no more Israel. So they knew, the people in this foreign policy establishment, they know what the writing on the wall is. I don't think Israel has a future. And I think that Trump has just thrown a grenade in there to blow up their rationale for going back into Gaza and dropping more bombs on them. I could be wrong. We might know more about it tomorrow because tomorrow the ceasefire expires. But I pray that I'm right.
The other thing I'll say to that, Alex, which is very good, thank you. I really appreciate that frame on it, because I did entertain the idea that the whole purpose of this was to, by claiming Gaza, he's now taken away the Israelis' claim to it, and now and that has attendant effects, and you just explained a lot of the attendant effects of that. Is that who's Israel's biggest benefactor? It's not the United States. It's the UK. You bankrupt the UK.
You do not say.
You
UK
neutralize
again?
Israel.
Didn't we just talk about them? Are they like all over the place? Are they everywhere where there's blood flowing in rivers?
Yeah,
they're always involved. Like,
and they're always involved.
What are the odds, right? I was thinking that eventually we're going to come upon some global crisis where the Norwegians are cooking the pot, or I don't know, the Portuguese.
Dude, it's all about the Somalis. Don't you understand that they're the secret rulers of the world? They always have that. No, the owner of the driest wit in geopolitics, Alex Krainer. Yeah, no, I think that, this is the attack on City of London and on the EU. Remember, this is all about collateral. It's all about the oil. It's all about using Israel as a beachhead to get access to all the resources in the region, which who doesn't have any and who does, and blah, 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 blah. We know all this. You and I have covered this at great length. The various factions in the Israeli government mapped to various people, various factions in Europe and the UK. Atomize both of them, and there is no empire. There is no future for the Israelis, and the people who ultimately hold their future, everyone's future in their hands, are the two major superpowers in the region, the Russians and the Americans. And if they pull out, everybody has to deal with each other. What Trump has just done is said, oh, by the way, if you don't start dealing with each other, you're going to deal with me. And that's the grenade he threw. And I think it's, again, hopefully this ends not in a conflagration, but in everybody kind of coming back and going, oh, really? Well, it's kind of like what we all did over Ukraine. Right? They threatened us with nuclear holocaust, and the American people were like, "Fuck you," and the European people were like, "Yeah, hell no," but they weren't allowed to actually have any democratic say in the matter, right? So, again,
which is something that
America's interests are no longer lie in this region.
Well, something I want to throw in the mix.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I know you got to go soon, Alex, right? But if you can stay for this, but if you got to go, right?
Okay, just hurry it up, yeah.
Okay, which is that Trump releasing the Epstein files and the JFK files will expose Mossad and MI6. That will further undermine Israel. And
yes,
very good point, Richard.
And then
very
I just wanted to add on the, this we're going to take over Gaza. This is kind of consistent with Trump's style. He confounds things. He makes everybody's heads explode because he throws something completely nonsensical, and then when the time comes, he moves on. Example, the Kellogg peace plan. So for a week, everybody was going out of their heads about the Kellogg peace plan because it doesn't make any sense. That's so stupid. And I thought, that is so stupid. He can't possibly mean that, And here you go. After he talked with Putin, he named the delegation that's going to continue the negotiation with the Russians. And guess who's not in that delegation? Keith Kellogg. So he got everybody to lose their shit, going over this is stupid, this doesn't make any sense, what is he thinking? Are these people complete idiots? And then he dropped him like it never mattered at all and moved on with the real deal. So
the real deal was delivered as a courier by Witkoff. Going back to the thing earlier, understand that you don't send his best golfing buddy, Steve Witkoff, over to Russia in the 747 to pick up a teacher.
It was too late. It was too late for them to get credit for the teacher's frequent flyer miles. So he would have wasted that trip. I have no other choice but to send the private plane with Witkoff.
What I'm getting at here is that Trump understands and Putin understands that the only way you can do secure communications now is person to person and in writing.
Yes.
Non-digital, period. That's what's going on, folks. It's been going on for months. That's why Viktor Orban was sent around the world a few months ago to go and talk to the Japanese, and then this ones and that one, and then show up at the UN, and they'll go to Mar-a-Lago, and he went to Moscow, then he went to Tokyo, everybody, all the major players that we talked about earlier. Viktor Orban visited with all of them, including Germany. I think he met with Gerhard Schroeder, didn't he? And if he did meet with Gerhard Schroeder, that was a tell as well. Because Gerhard Schroeder is the Nord Stream pipe.
I think something like that happened, but he's been carpet bombing us with all this stuff. It's hard to keep up. So it is. It's very, very difficult. It feels like it happened 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go one step further. I'm going to remind everybody that part of the reason why Apple's plan for a personal AI assistant on your phone is why it's so very important. Dexter White and I were chatting the other day, and we're like, we all have bad tools for curating data. Because we use bookmarks, and we use this, we use that, and the Google search engines don't work anymore because Google's not interested in giving you information, they're only interested in serving you ads. So everybody our age who grew up in this age of, well, I know how to put the search terms into Google to get the information I want, that information's not even in Google anymore. So we have to start really, I'm feeling it, I don't know if you're feeling it, Alex, but I'm beginning to feel like I now living in a world where all of the tools that I've developed over the years to keep a track of all this information, I can't just keep it in my head anymore. I can't keep it in bookmarks. I can't keep it in blog posts. There's not enough time in the day. And at some point, I'm going to have to get some kind of personal assistant. And curation of information at a personal level is incredibly important. And I'm just throwing it out there. This is why this kind of thing is where we're headed.
I have a simple solution.
We don't have these problems during these conversations going forward.
You're going to have to finish up.
Yes, I have a simple solution. I'm going to become a carpenter. Yeah.
Well, no, okay. Alex, my goal has always been to get to the point where we solve the world's problems to the point where I can go out and get a real fucking job.
Indeed. Tom, Alex, absolutely fabulous.
Okay, my kids are going to fire me because I never made them, because I never made them dinner. So I got to run. I'm gonna get fired.
Well, Alex, Tom, thank you. Links in the description below. Look forward to speaking to you again in a month's time. And you and I, Tom, we're recording with a MP from the AFD in a week's time.
Yes.
Alex, I'll see you soon as well.
Mm-hmm.
Harley, and between now and when I see you next, there is hope and positivity. And we'll speak.
Oh God, you just reminded me. I have to. I still haven't done it, Rich.
No worries.
I have to introduce.
We're still. This is about the anti-war thing, right? Don't worry. I'll have the links. propertyco.com. bit.ly/make-war-history, and that is growing. That movement is growing in the UK. All right, thank you, gentlemen. All the best. Bye-bye.
Okay. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.
You too.
You can keep up with Alex Krainer's extraordinary analysis and writing at his Substack, and also make money using his trend-following strategy. To find out more, go to bit.ly/cryptorichalexk. bit.ly/cryptorichalexk. Stay ahead of the curve by signing up as one of Tom Luongo's Patreons and become a part of his investment community and get his investment letter.
It's that freaking big.